I'm trying to platinum every single game I can. So far, I have earned 39 platinum trophies on some of my favorite games ever. Howdy, my name is Sven, and today the plan is no different, so grab a drink and some snacks because I will be taking you with me on a journey to platinum and to discover what makes this game my personal game of the year. So let's dive into this journey and let me tell you about Requiem. Dude, I'm excited. Alright, so the story of Requiem begins at a random FBI field office. That's where we meet one of our two protagonists, FBI agent Grace Ashcroft. From the very first interaction with her, you can already tell she's not your typical Resident Evil protagonist. She's not a hardened badass who can do 3 backflips while reloading and spin kicking a zombie in the head. Instead, from the get go, she seems kinda clumsy, anxious, like the kind of person who would second guess every single step, and that's instantly what sets her apart for me. You look at characters like Ethan Winters from the previous games, and he was meant to be the everyday guy that we could relate to, but he actually ended up being one of the hardest motherfucking troopers we've ever seen in the series, going toe to toe with Leon or with Chris, and just handling one of the most crazy and most extreme situations possible. Instead, Grace, even though she's a very defined and established character, she feels way more relatable and way more mundane. I'll tell you more about why I think that later. It comes into play with the gameplay. But anyway, she gets assigned a new case, investigating a string of strange deaths linked to some unknown disease. And if that sounds familiar, well, yeah, it's kind of how Resident Evil 1 started. The investigation into all those murders and disappearances up in the Arklay Mountains all those years back. Right there, I already felt it. This was just the beginning of a beautiful celebration of the entire franchise that this game was cooking up. Anyway, the latest victim had been found at the Wrenwood Hotel, and we're told it's the exact same place that's been haunting Grace for 8 years. The scene of her mother's murder, Alyssa Ashcroft, the reporter we actually played in Outbreak. Despite all that trauma, Grace agrees to go. And just like that, we're thrown into the streets of Brentwood for our first playable segment. Believe me when I tell you that stepping onto those packed, lively streets was beautiful. It really was like having a brief window into a regular Midwestern town full of incredible detail. It really did feel so alive. Anyways, we weave through the back alleys and slip in through the hotel's rear entrance, and the atmosphere just instantly flips. Of course, the place has been abandoned for years. The environment in here just feels dark, heavy, and very oppressive. It reminded me of the first couple of hours of Resident Evil 7, minus all of the rot. The crime scene itself is pure visual storytelling. And the way the game makes you read the case report while you're examining the evidence markers. That was really cool. Like, I honestly wish they would have gone even further with the investigative side of Grace's job before the horror kicked in. Like, just imagine getting immersed into a really hard boiled noir kind of detective adventure. Like, just having to investigate like a real murder, having to investigate a real mystery before getting dragged into a very Resident Evil esque situation, you know? It would have been really cool. After a while of looking around, you find a faded photo of Grace herself, like we have been getting stuck this whole time. And there's a key taped to the back, telling us to go to room 204. As soon as we pick up that key, the only exit locks behind Grace. No alternative and no escape, the only way is forward. And that's when the game really starts getting a grip on you. You know that feeling? That quiet fear of what comes next and the dread of the unknown? Well, that's exactly how it felt watching Grace reluctantly explore the halls of the hotel, every step being hesitant, and every shadow feeling like it's watching you. Eventually, we reach room 204, and inside, the bed is covered in even more stalker photos of Grace, dozens of them, and it's unnerving as hell. But one photo in particular stands out, and the second Grace looks at it, we are pulled into a flashback. 8 years earlier, we see mother and daughter, Alisa and a young Grace, desperately trying to escape this very hotel. We watch Alisa hide her bag behind a painting, frantic, and knowing something is coming for them. And then we witness her death. It is incredibly unceremonious and almost for free. No dramatic last words, no big cutscene, just over in a second. And honestly, it makes a lot of sense, really. Like, she was in deep investigating some serious, powerful shadow organizations. And sadly, in real life, this kind of thing does happen to reporters who get too close to the truth. That realism hit a lot for this cutscene, and it made things click a lot more. When we come back to the present, Grace recovers her mother's things, and that's when a zombie attacks us. One of the cops that was here earlier suddenly turns and tries to blast us with a shotgun. In pure panic, Grace runs until we burst into the same room as the big bad evil guy of the game, Dr. Victor Gideon. He doesn't waste time and he knocks Grace out cold, taking her away. Holy shit, that was a hell of an intro to this game. Exactly as Grace hits the floor, we cut to our other protagonist, Resident Evil's poster boy, now turned Billboard Daddy, Leon S. Kennedy. He's also looking into the mysterious deaths, and he's actually quite a little bit ahead of the FBI, just like we would expect from him. We're told that all of the victims are survivors of the Raccoon City incident, which means Leon is sick too, and this is a life or death situation for him. Let me just stop for a moment to talk about Leon's introduction. Even in the trailers, it was straight up fucking bomb. His design, his aesthetic, and the way he's introduced, everything was done with a lot of taste, and it drives the character in exactly the right direction. Everything about it was done just right. Like, he has that effect where you look at him and suddenly Somewhere I Belong starts playing in your head, like from all the fucking TikToks and Reels. Where's it come from? I don't fucking know, but damn does it fuck. Leon in this game has got that ruggedness of someone who's dealt with this shit for years and is already used to it. Like, you can instantly tell, unlike Grace, that he's a completely different character in a completely different league of his own. He's a very seasoned veteran on a random Tuesday at work. He makes his character from Resident Evil 4 look like a fucking kid in comparison. And that difference becomes crystal clear the second we move into his gameplay. Leon manages to track down Victor Gideon, who is literally carrying an unconscious Grace across a busy street. Like, at this point, why not just fucking do it in broad daylight too, right? I'm just sitting here like, what was he fucking thinking? It's just so funny to me, because later in the game the guy's riding helicopters, bikes, and he literally owns a hospital. But he couldn't just throw in a fucking van? I mean, I guess there was no fucking parking lot that close to the hotel. Jokes aside, this is actually a pretty good excuse for the bad guy to escape by infecting random pedestrians and giving Leon things to kill and heads to smash. So, instead of telling you just how absolutely fucking cool Leon's sections are, I'll let the gameplay do the talking.
Get friendly buff down.
That's fucking cool. Actually, we just got a trophy. Can I borrow this? Throw a weapon dropped by an enemy. Cool.
So, back to square one.
Not necessarily. Victor purchased a building after Umbrella went under. The Rhodes Hill Chronic Care Center. I'll send you the address. Leon? We're running out of time.
Oh my god. And we got the next trophy, Deja Vu, for encountering an outbreak in Rangwood. That was cool. I really love that section. We cut right back to Grace, miles away now, strapped down and apparently being drained of her blood. After she cuts herself loose, we get to explore this new location, the care center. And the environment here drags us straight back into the absolute horror and dread that defines Grace's sections. The ambience is incredibly creepy and tense. After exploring for a little while, we find the Chirov key, the one that'll give us access to save rooms across the whole hospital from now on. Now, from the very start of the game gives you two difficulty options, classic and modern. I went with classic, which means we're using limited ink ribbons to save, just like the good old days. That alone adds way more tension, and it gets even worse the moment that we read this strange book telling us to stay in the light because there's something evil lurking in the dark. And then we meet her.
He's dead.
No shit. Well, I mean, in a series where the death can come back to life.
Infected.
Oh my fucking god. The sheer sight of this monster is enough to make any first-time player run in a panic straight back to the room we started in, and we quickly confirm that the light really is our only saving grace, our only sanctuary. This is such a masterful way of capitalizing on a cool but simple mechanic and such a common fear as the dark, when the only moments of peace you get are suddenly interrupted by a light that just goes out. Well, that's instant panic.
Please, no.
This whole section was a genuine demonstration of horror and dread done right. Every single moment is really tense. Oh, she's definitely coming for me. Oh my god, bro, I'm actually saving right now. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. We just got a new trophy. The old-fashioned way, using an end ribbon to save at a typewriter. Fuck me. Holy shit, this is fucking terrifying. And after finding the fuse we need to get out of here, we think we have made it. But Grace gets grabbed by the ankles and dragged screaming back into the darkness. Okay. Holy fuck. Dude, he's so fucking epic. Jumping back to Leon, he arrived at the care center just minutes earlier, and he gets escorted into a doctor's office. In response to his arrival, an alarm is tripped, and the whole building lights up. An outbreak has officially begun. And this is where we get our first real look at one of the coolest mechanics in the care center, Almost every infected still retains some of their old memories or habits from when they were still alive. They can actually perform somewhat coherent tasks. These aren't like the infected in RE6, just regular mutants who are fully aware and can shoot at you. Some of them, like the one here, are carrying chainsaws or one-handed blunt weapons, but they still move like the zombies we know and love. They're iconic and mechanically familiar. They just do these little automatic tasks as part of their old instincts. And what I love even more about these enemies? Well, almost all of them feel unique. They're tied directly into the broader backstory and world building of the care center. Several of them have their own entries in the documents scattered everywhere, and they each played a role in the seriously fucked up things that happened here, and almost every one of them even have a name. After finishing up with that massacre, we get our first Mr. Raccoon collectible of the game, and the trophy pops along with it. Okay, they're gonna show us the side things. Hunt us, seek us, find us, break us. So that's another trophy. That is The Hunt Begins. Destroy one Mr. Raccoon memoriam. Damn. Right after this, Leon arrives just in time to see Grace being dragged away. He jumps straight into action and effortlessly puts an end to the girl. He frees her, trades places, and ends up being trapped behind a metallic grate with Victor lurking in the shadows. Before she goes, he hands Grace the Requiem, his super custom high caliber revolver. And I mean, it is super cool and it is super overpowered, but I don't know how much good one shot of a pistol with super rare ammo is really gonna do. Although I guess it's better than nothing. Cutting right back to Grace, we're given complete freedom to roam the care center.
We'll be fine. I hope.
And the first thing we do is visit the nearby save room, and we get our very own item box. It gives us our next trophy when we use it. There's a limit to how many items you can carry around, so if you don't want to leave anything behind, store items you don't need in the item box. So we just got out of sight, out of mind. Store an item in the item box as Grace. Right here, we also meet Emily, a blind girl trapped in a sort of holding cell, locked behind one of Capcom's favorite tropes, tiered access wristbands. Really, they use it everywhere. For now, we can't help her though, so we grab the key card next to the corpse and start exploring the West Wing. And that's where we run into yet another one of the very iconic zombies in this game, the chef and butcher of this place. Turns out he's a mini stalker type enemy. As long as you don't disturb him, he just stays there slicing meaty ingredients in the kitchen. After sneaking past him, we finally get to witness the outbreak in all of its glory. And it's right here in the middle of all that chaos of infected eating people that we get the best insight into what I was telling you earlier. And I mean, sure, Grace is with the FBI and has probably trained, but through the entire care center, she can barely hold her own against even a single enemy. The gun Leon shoots effortlessly with almost no recoil makes Grace's hands hurt and tremble, and no matter what gun she's holding, she's shaking almost uncontrollably the whole time, in pure panic and anguish. The situation she's put in is incredibly dire, and this is where you most feel like you're playing as a regular human being, just doing her best to survive impossible odds. Literally using broken scissors just to protect yourself from zombie attacks, relying way more on sneaking, dodging, and outrunning enemies that can overwhelm you in seconds, all while Grace is stuck in this constant state of fight or flight. It really added a lot of depth to her gameplay and made things way more different than Leon's gameplay. The voice actor did an incredible job here too. She actually researched panic attacks and anxiety extensively so that she could portray a regular person's reaction to trauma accurately. We're talking parts where Grace stutters, where you can literally see her mind racing while her speech tries to catch up. All in all, I really enjoyed exploring the care center like this. It's a tense, nerve-breaking experience, and it genuinely felt like this would be the exact same way I'd react if I was in her position, and it made me get even more immersed, sharing that trauma right alongside Grace. That aside though, I want to mention a couple more iconic zombies that play into the mechanics really well and ended up being my favorites. First, there's the one that hates bright lights. The second he sees them, he rushes over and turns them off, and it works really well for stealth-based gameplay, and it was also really funny to me because that's just me at 3 a.m. Like, you fucking turn on a light and that's just me screeching all over the place. There's also the cleaning lady who rushes to clean any blood she sees on the floors and will actually follow new stains as they appear. When she attacks you, she tries to scratch or scrub your face up, which is such a unique but disturbing little detail. Oh my god. And who could forget the strongest zombie in the entire game? The blind one who's hypersensitive to sound. He'll rush anything that makes noise with his IV pole, and you can actually abuse that later to take out any enemy in the center. He actually became really popular on the internet, so you probably know about him already. And last but not least, there's this singing lady. Her design is amazing, almost ethereal, and you can actually hear her singing from below the balcony right after you leave the kitchen. When you look at her and you realize that she's the one singing, it will almost chill your blood. She can actually hurt you with her voice, and all in all, it's a pretty cool concept for a zombie, and she's also pretty popular. And altogether, it's a genuinely awesome mechanic. Speaking of blood, that's actually how we craft items in this section. We collect it from buckets, blood-filled containers, or straight out of zombies' insides scattered everywhere. The more samples you find and analyze, the better your recipes get. And one of my favorite ones, one of my most used ones during all my playthroughs, is the hemolytic injector. It allows you to stealth kill almost any enemy with it, making them explode in a gory mess all over the walls, and it becomes really important as it can take out enemies that will block your path later on. So, with all this out of the way, let's take a look at some of the trophies we picked up while exploring the care center. If you sneak up on an enemy from behind, you can use a hemolytic injector to take them out instantly. The same strategy can be used on staggered enemies. Yeah, fuck it, I'm wasting it on you. And we just got a new trophy, defeat a zombie using the hemolytic injector, fatal dose.
That's too effective.
We can craft handgun ammo. Cool. I'm feeling better about this. Activating all atoms. Conversions 0, minimum steps 1. Oh, I see how that works. Okay. You can now craft handgun ammo, hemolytic injector. And we just got a new trophy called Science. Unlock a crafting recipe using analysis. The hemolytic injector is good, but I want the ammo. And we just got the power of blood. Craft an item using the blood collector. He's gonna be chasing the fuck out of me though. Lockpick. What can I get here? We just got another trophy, like mother, like daughter. Unlock a drawer with a lockpick. I like that. It's a little reference to Outbreak. In the Outbreak game, the mother of this character, Lisa Ashcroft, was a master lockpicker, and her special item was a lockpick. We're actually crafting in an ink ribbon. And we just got blood, more blood. Use 300 microsamples of infected blood from crafting that ink ribbon. Definitely a big boy. He's done. And we just got the next trophy. Defeat the chef in the care center in the main story. Order up. And we just got Deadly Duet. Defeat the 2 singers in the main story. After thoroughly exploring the care center, our 2 objectives become very clear. Rescue the blind girl and escape the place together. To do that, we need to gather 3 quartz stones to place on the front door so that we can finally open it. During our exploration, we managed to find 2 of them locked behind puzzles solved by inputting the right combination of buttons related to the sun, the moon, and a star. We also pick up both the tier 2 and tier 3 wristbands, plus the location of the 3rd stone. The only problem is, the buttons in the last puzzle are only in Braille. Normally, this wouldn't be too bad. In Braille, there's the same amount of characters as in the alphabetical words, so sun is only 3 characters, and moon, it has a repeating 1. It's sort of easy to deduce, but Grace's fog of war is too thick right now, which means the game is gonna force us to get Emily's help to get this stone. So we get her out of her cell and carry her all the way back to the puzzle, avoiding zombies and defending her while she solves it. After some tense moments, it ends in success and we're finally able to get out of his hell. Or so we thought. Before we can make it, the girl, not Emily, the terrifying one, breaks through the walls and naps her, dragging Emily away into the basement of the care center. As soon as Grace follows, another trophy pops.
I can't just leave her.
And we're back with Leon, aren't we? We just got a new trophy, Descent into Darkness. Reach the basement of the care center. We cut back to Leon, who has been captured by Victor and is now being interrogated. But Leon locks in, manages to get free, scaring Victor away with some of his alpha wolf male aura. In this attic area, we find a shotgun and immediately put it to good use in a boss fight against Chunk. That grotesque monster who also terrorized Grace down there in the center. Of course, it isn't a match for Leon, but it was pretty cool having a boss fight in such a tight space against such a big enemy. After disposing of it, we make our way back and find an upgrade for our weapons, which gives us the next trophy. He's so fucking strong. And we got a compensator for our gun. And we just got a new trophy, and we actually have 20% of the game already, holy shit. Upgrade a weapon, tailor-made. Now this part back at the center was supposed to be Leon just having fun, obliterating enemies all around the area. But on my playthrough, I had pretty much cleaned house before we swapped to him. So it ends up being a very short section, just picking up extra items and making our way back to the only locked part left. Behind a door that only Leon can open, we get swarmed by one of the new enemy types, the Blisterheads. They work basically like Crimson Heads from RE1, but they're much more annoying and brutal.
One thing after another.
Alright, and we just got Chop Chop. Defeat 3 zombies with a hatchet finishing attack. After fending off a handful of them, we reach a secret office where Leon and Sherry, now replacing Honeygan as his handler, confirm that they're both sick with a deadly T-virus infection. And after that, we cut right back to Grace, who's currently in one of the most fucked up situations in the entire game, down in a pitch black basement, constantly at the mercy of the girl. Zombies that could wake up at any moment as are scattered all over the place. And for a big chunk of the area, you can only light up 1 or 2 sections at most. There's always risk when moving from one spot to another. The previous sections where we sneaked around this stalker in the darkness feel like they were just a little taste. Right here we're getting the full playground, going back and forth with the looming threat of what hides in the darkness all around Grace. And it gets even worse if we make a noise or shoot at enemies. To make it out with Emily, we had to be extremely resourceful and plan every movement carefully. And oh boy did I play it safe. I must have used over 6 hemolytic injectors here. I was slinging shots like Jesse Pinkman was slinging crystal. And of course, it paid off. After this, I only have 1 chemo left. Easier traversal and only having to worry about sneaking around the girl. In the end, this is my most hated and dreaded part of the game, and that's exactly why I love it. It's a perfect way of using the enemy's mechanics to put us in the absolute worst scenario possible. Along with Grace's other sections, it felt distinctively like the origins of a franchise, having to manage inventory and constantly weighing whether it's worth risking an encounter with the enemy just for a useful item. But this part also went beyond that and stepped into the kind of horror we'd find in games like Outlast, and that was great. In the end, we managed to make it out of the basement with Emily. We escaped the center and reached the courtyard as another trophy pops. And we just got the next trophy. It's been a long night. Reached the courtyard of the care center. Out here we find a chopper that can take us out of this place, along with a pilot named Harry, who's just been chilling out here for some reason. But he seems reliable enough, so we trust him for now. To get this thing going, we need the keys, which are inside Victor's secret lab in the office building right in front of us. So we go in, and end up facing a literal bloodbath just to get our ticket out of here. We also overhear Victor speaking with a mysterious person. We'll touch on who that is later, but you can guess he's the one who caused everything in here to go to shit. Clearly, he was willing to dispose of his entire research just because they'd been able to find Grace. Getting out of here, we book it to the chopper as Grace is chased by a horde of infected. We manage to get airborne, but sadly, already being a little overrun, we crash against a nearby chapel. And to top it all off, Harry dies in the accident. Our fucking IP, bro. He was iconic in the 3 minutes of screen time he had. Cutting back to Leon, we're put into a really fun sniper section.
Hello, gorgeous.
Where we defend the girls as they try to make it to the safety of the chapel. We successfully do so and get to them, but we're not clear yet. Emily has been seriously hurt, and on top of that, we're faced with another boss fight which Leon handles as they escape. Right after this, Grace finally gets her one and only boss fight in the game, against her own sleep paralysis demon, the girl. It's a sorta gimmicky boss fight, pretty typical for the franchise, and the gist of it is activating 3 handles to restore power to the facility so we can open the hatch and the monster can, well, show us the skin of a killer with the sun. It's a pretty cool concept, but there's noticeably less tension because we have the Requiem and a shit ton of bullets for it too. That thing can stun her pretty reliably, and doing it for the first time actually gives us a trophy as well. And we just got the next trophy. Bring out the big guns, stun the girl with the Requiem. After opening the hatch and melting the girl, Grace gets a little taste of what good old Chris Redfield must have felt for a long, long 19 years. Watching everybody you care about or want to protect die right in front of you. Emily mutates, and Leon doesn't hesitate. The second he gets there, he puts her down. This ends badly for Grace. Not only does it make her lose all faith and trust in Leon as a potential ally, it completely breaks her. With her mother gone and the girl she was supposed to protect now dead, and her being completely alone in the world, something the files around the game actually tell you about how solitary she is. Well, she finally gives in to the destiny that our antagonists have chosen for her. Victor and another Wesker? Only this one is named Sino, and he looks pretty slick. He's one of the top dogs in what the game calls the Connections, basically their version of the Illuminati. They want to release a virus they believe is capable of mind control and memory transfer, and for some reason they need Grace to make it happen. So they leave, taking Grace with them and leaving Leon behind. Grace goes willingly, as we've said, because she gave in to her destiny, but also because she wants to learn more about her past and her place in the world, and she believes these people have the answers. Leon, of course, tracks them down to the one place that makes perfect sense for this celebration of the entire franchise: the ruins of Raccoon City, a ghost from our past. Is that really a
Let us show
motherfucking
you
Wesker?
your true purpose.
What the fuck? That's a fucking Wesker. Holy shit. We just got the next trophy. A harsh reality. Escape the care center.
Did you find anything on Elpis?
Not yet. Nothing on the servers of the CIA or the Pentagon.
Look, we don't need you taking a hit for this. I'll just go it alone.
We're in this together.
Till the end. I've always been good at working in the shadows.
I'm gonna find Grace. She definitely has something to do with Elpis.
That is the sickest fucking introduction to Raccoon City. Holy shit.
All the road's gone. You have to find another way around.
All right. I'll leave that to you. I think I found a clue as to where they might be. Some coordinates on Victor's computer.
Got it, thanks.
Right in the center of Raccoon City.
Arriving in Raccoon City for the first time is an incredibly nostalgic experience. Getting to see the ruins of a place that we spent so much time in, now completely abandoned and swallowed by time, it really hits different. It marks a strong change of pace in the game. We leave the dimly lit, almost cozy but tense halls of the care center and step into a very apocalyptic setting that reminded me of Mad Max, or that old game I Am Alive. Some of you probably don't even remember it, but it's for the PS3 and it was pretty cool. Exploring these dusty ruins in daylight was also pretty cool. As we move through the empty and silent streets, we find containers belonging to the BSAA, so it seems that they're around here somewhere. And we walk through the hotel lobby, running into another one of the franchise's staples from the early days. I'm out. Fuck this. Fuck this shit. I'm out. I'm not gonna survive this shit. I cannot with this game right now. They brought back the fucking giant spiders. Oh my god. I can't with this shit. Shit. Dude, I'm actually sweating on my back from watching that. Holy fuck. Dude, I'm so out. Like, I'm getting chills. Holy fuck. Witnessing this thing in 4K with super realistic graphics really did no fucking good to my stomach. It's nothing we haven't faced before, but seeing it rendered like this and getting chased through an abandoned building gave me actual chills. That specific kind of panic that you can only feel from having a phobia to spiders. That feeling just stuck with me for minutes after the boss fight. Mechanically and visually, it was really well done. But fuck man, it was tough as fuck getting through it. After taking it down, we reach Raccoon City East. Our objective is to get to the center, but it's been fenced off, so we need to assemble a detonator by finding 3 parts scattered throughout the area. We eventually reach a BSAA outpost that serves as the hub, and the rest of it opens up into a semi-open world section. In this outpost, we get a combat tracker that earns points from killing enemies. The gameplay loop is pretty simple. You progress through areas that eventually loop back to the outpost, earn points from kills, and use those points to purchase equipments and consumables at the supply crate anytime you return. I don't know, maybe I want to... fuck it, let's just go with it. And we just got the next trophy, Retail Therapy. Purchase an item from the supply box. Because this happens at the midpoint of a game, it doesn't feel like the deep progression system in RE4 that is a staple from the very start of a game. It feels more like an afterthought, a very simplified, kind of like a light version. We have our base weapons, which are all solid all-rounders, and then pick up more specialized ones that trade strengths for weaknesses. For example, the shotgun has a tighter spread, making it better for mid-range single targets than crowd control. Walking through these streets really felt like walking through a ghost town, or rather, like one of the best characters ever written once said, like we are in somebody's faded memory of a town. And I say that in a very bittersweet way. As a longtime fan, I have to admit this section left me a little bit disappointed. They were spoiled for choice with iconic locations that they could get Leon to explore in this big return to the place so many of us spent hundreds of hours in. Raccoon University, the zoo, City Hall, the clock tower, the tram station, even the bar from Outbreak, hell, even the fucking Arklay mansion. Any of those would have been incredible. Instead, most of it feels like generic ruined buildings and many flipped or generic assets. The nostalgia and hype carried the first playthrough, especially the chainsaw fight in the flaming gas station, and the creative, tilted building section with the glass floors. Those two moments were genuinely very good and very hype, but overall, it feels like a missed opportunity. During this section, we also get a new enemy type in the form of infected BSAA agents. Like the other zombies, they still retain some of their basic functions. They will spray and pray or carry bombs with them. It's a small but welcome touch that is better than turning the gameplay into a full-on shooter like in 5 and 6. Now let me show you some of the trophies we picked up while exploring this place. And we just got a new trophy. Parry an enemy attack. Untouchable. we just got a new trophy, Seasoned Pro. Defeat 300 enemies. We just got a new trophy, reach the ground using the suspended platform. Trophy name going down. And we just got a new trophy, create expectations, open all BSAA containers. Once the detonator is ready, we hop on a motorbike that Leon finds in one of the containers and get treated to one of the coolest sections in the game, riding through the dusty remnants of the city, jumping from building to building while being chased by dogs. And I really can't stress just how fucking hyped this section is. This is the moment where you put on Somewhere I Belong and just vibe to the moment. It's really unforgettable. Like the setting, the context, it's such an iconic character doing this. It's really, really good, really cool. To some degree, this and other sections in the game make me feel like the approach to combat in sections like this is just Resident Evil 6 done right and tastefully. And we just got a new trophy, Road Rage. Stop one of Victor's attacks on the highway.
Seriously.
The ride ends when we reach the exact same street we walked in the Resident Evil 2 remake, only now in daylight and completely destroyed. As we approached the RPD, I couldn't help but feel heavy nostalgia. Even though this too feels mostly like reused assets, coming back to this place after nearly a decade and a half was something a lot of us had imagined for years. For many longtime fans, especially us Latin Americans, this city and this police station hold so many memories. Sitting in the living room with a dictionary for translation, a notebook for hints and locations, snacks all over the place, and spending whole afternoons, sometimes halfway through the night, trying to complete the classic games. Hours on end exploring this city and this police station that became such gripping scenarios and core memories. RPD.
It's on you now.
And we just got the hero returns for arriving at the RPD. I love this. I love that they even kept the same mysterious chime that was all the way back at the Resident Evil 2 game. And just, you know, the memories. This really puts things into perspective. What once felt like a long, intense journey, with danger at every corner and having to take it really slow, now feels very small and very quick to someone of Leon's caliber. Like pretty much all you do here is just solve one small treasure hunt. You also get to see Tofu as a really small Easter egg. Another tofu appearance. And that's it. There's nothing else to do other than moving on. Literally, you only get to kill one zombie and that's it. One random policeman that just stayed here. Other than that, you just move on to the main objective, which is on the east wing of the RPD. In the end, we reach Grace and Zeno as they talk about her purpose. As Leon eavesdrops on them, we're thrown into a flashback all the way back to 1990 at the Raccoon Orphanage, playing as a girl who looks just like Grace and Emily, trying to escape it. In it, we get to see how Umbrella was also using it for fucked up experiments, cloning children and using them to develop the memory transfer virus, until almost all of the kids rebelled and turned murderous. It genuinely creeped me the fuck out. Back in the present, Leon confronts Zeno, who dodges bullets like a true Wesker. But instead of fighting us, Zeno sends one of his BOWs after us for a reunion with an old friend. Leon escapes through the back of the station and ends up at Kendo's gun shop, getting hit with more memories of that tragic night when we witnessed the last moments of Kendo and his daughter. Trying to move along to the orphanage, we are blocked by the Tyrant, who wants a rematch. It turns into one of the most epic boss fights in the game, though it ends up being pretty easy for current day Leon, who ends up parrying Mr. X's insanely powerful attacks with a lot of ease. And it really shows how far his character has come, putting an end to him without even using a rocket launcher, just raw dogging the fight and making the thing eat lead until it gives out. Man, you're dead. And we just got the next trophy. I remember that too, for defeating the Super Tyrant.
I'll stop you as many times as I have to.
Yeah, fuck you, you son of a bitch. I hate you. He was really fucking easy to beat. Like, goddamn. Really, the parts of Leon are just really enjoyable. I don't know what to say. We continue moving until we reach the orphanage. Our objective is very clear. Reach the hidden lab below it. We enter the remains of it and quickly move into the destroyed underground section and a little bit of the subway, eventually having to rappel our way down as we witness a massive accumulation of vines and plants. Bringing back Plant 43 this way felt earned and very fun. It wasn't anything crazy, but it made sense. And And we just got, not today, but defeat all the Plant 43 seedlings. And after defeating all the seedlings and the main plant in a boss fight that reminded me a lot of a Nidhogg fight in DMC5, we finally cleared the path towards the final area of the game, the Ark. And we just got the next trophy for 40% of the total trophy progress. Umbrella's Legacy. Find Ark. Aside from the amazing clean visuals and the lore within it, there's not much depth to Leon's first experience inside the Ark. The highlights are getting to see the Lickers again, this time confined to their experimental chambers, and some encounters that at first glance feel like we're back in the shooter sections of RE6. But instead, they turn into tense stealth sections. This game makes gunfire incredibly effective against us, which I honestly really welcomed. It forces you to sneak around, use gas canisters to distract enemies, and get lost in the smoke. The enemies here are a new force made up of former Umbrella soldiers from the USS and new mercenaries hired by the Connections. It made me think this is their way of tying back to Umbrella Corps. Even though that game sucks, it could make for some great lore. There's also a really cool encounter where you can break a liquor free from its chamber so it fights the soldiers for you. As we continue exploring the beautifully evil halls of this place, we find archives that detail how the Connections have been using the Ark as a bioweapon development hub. They've been smuggling these weapons for crazy money, right here where it all started. Most of the enemies we fought appear as products ready for distribution, which was really cool to see and kind of disturbing. Knowing you could apparently buy a whole Tyrant, a whole ass Tyrant, a whole Mr. X for $120 million. Moving on from this, we get another blast from the past, and wherever Umbrella goes, death incarnate seems to follow, and Leon is going to fight him one-on-one.
Leon Kennedy. We finally meet.
The fight feels like a more bite-sized crosser boss fight, and in this case, that's pretty okay. As you can probably guess, this is most likely Mr. Death himself, Hunk. I've always felt Hunk is one of the most overhyped characters in the entire franchise, and for good reason. But once again, Leon is just too much of a unit. He takes Hunk down with the edge of his axe, or so we think. Apparently, if you come back to the room later, his body disappears, while other bodies stay right where they fell. We can also see he's infected with the T-Virus, which is another hint that he was in Raccoon City during the incident, so yeah, this is most likely Hunk. Moving on from this, we finally meet back up with Grace. She's being held hostage by Zeno in the holding chamber for Elpis. Apparently, the reason they were trying to make a clone of her back in the care center is because they believe she holds the knowledge of Oswald Spencer, the creator of the virus and founder of Umbrella. They're convinced that only she has the password that they need. Leon tries to stop it, but he's no match for the Wesker. Grace, however, manages to rescue him by using her own life as a token and threatening to end it, which gives Leon enough time. They escape together by jumping onto a moving platform that takes them down to the lower levels of the Ark.
Are you okay?
Me? I feel like $1 million.
If anything happens to me, you promise you'll end this.
I promise.
Come on.
And we just got the next trophy. The final mission. Start exploring the lower levels of Ark. Moving on, we take control of Grace once again. This time we're exploring the lower levels of the Ark, trying to find a way to stop everything. During this entire section, we're constantly facing lickers as we move from area to area. It feels very reminiscent of the lab sections in RE2 Remake, which was really nice. We're put into some really tense situations, and we need to gather a key to activate a panel so that Leon can move forward and so that we can progress too. The problem, aside from the lickers, is that there is also regular zombies around. Gunshots will alert the lickers and so will getting chased. Luckily, the game gives us another resource that we can leverage, acid, which one-shots lickers. We also still have the Molotov cocktails from the care center, which not only one-shot zombies but can stealthily reduce a licker's health to one-shot range. Using all of these resources, we're able to play with strategy and be mostly successful. Some of these areas end up being genuinely tense, reminding me of the classic survival horror where you'd have to kill one enemy, leave the room, and then come back later to kill another, guiding them carefully and thinking hard about every single move. All in all, this area was a genuinely enjoyable experience and a great playground for the kind of strategic survival horror that we all love from this franchise. When we finally get both keys in the form of spheres that combine to make the Umbrella logo, we reach the main control room. Grace takes a look at the floppy disk she recovered from Elisa's things at the very start of the game. Inside, we find a ton of documentation and interviews with Oswald E. Spencer. He seems to want to atone for everything he's done, all the evil he brought to the world, and he's clearly plagued by guilt. He also mentions Elpis, the goddess of hope. We learn that he had a daughter, an orphaned baby who was completely alone in the world, a perfectly normal and average child in need that he took in to make amends. That child was Grace, and of course he gave her to Elisa. So we finally understand that Grace does carry Spencer's legacy, but not in the way that Wesker and Victor thought. She was his saving grace, his hope of leaving something good behind for humanity. We jump back to Leon, who is having a really rough time. His illness is getting the best of him and we're running out of time. He also has to deal with rooms full of lickers just to get back to the Elpis chamber. The T-virus starts affecting the gameplay occasionally, making things harder in key moments where we need to act fast. Overall, the lickers are manageable for him by kiting and using the silent pistol. At the very least, until we get swarmed by lickers inside a room, and then zombies break out of containment. Barely surviving, Leon makes it back to the chamber, but before he can get inside, it becomes too much and he collapses right at the stairs. Cutting right back to Grace, we reach Oswald's office. We get to see some of the history of the franchise and ties to previous games, right before returning to Leon. With Grace's help, they stumble back and confront Zeno once more. And it is here where Grace has to make a very difficult choice. A choice that will determine whether we get the good or bad ending in this game. And honestly, that completely shakes the core of the franchise in my opinion. Being able to have an outcome that can be canon or not, including the absolute worst possible scenario, is something I really value. So by watching the interview, we can probably guess what Elpis actually is. I first chose what I believed was the bad ending just to see it, and I was right. If we destroy Elpis, we get the absolute worst scenario, where we witness the death of our beloved protagonist. Strangely, this is the second time in the franchise that we see that. Let me beat his ass. Let me kill him. Let me end another Wesker. Fuck. Yeah, Leon is fucked.
At least I could save you.
What the fuck? Holy shit. Oh, what the fuck? Bro, what the hell? Dude. Oh my fucking god. They really just did that. They really just fucking went and killed him. Just like that. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. God damn. He really did deserve better. Dude, what the fuck? Like, I'm fairly sure this is not the actual ending of the game, but that they went and did that and gave us that choice. That it is a game with a choice now. Holy fuck. If he dies on the other choice, I'm gonna be fucking angry. But holy shit, I didn't think I would ever see that. I didn't think I would ever see Leon die like that. Just like a dog. Like, no fucking regrets, no fucking, like, thinking about it. He just went and shot him straight in the head. Fucking Wesker, man. Fuck. And we just got Resolute Agent. Complete the main story on at least standard classic difficulty. And we got Rising Agent. Complete the main story on at least standard modern difficulty. We also got Rookie Agent. Complete the main story on at least casual difficulty. After reloading the save, which the game lets us do because they acknowledge this is the bad ending, we pick the right choice. Hope, which is exactly what Grace was to Spencer. In the end, it turns out she really was the key, but not to be used for evil and controlling others like Zeno wanted. Instead, she acts as a force for good by releasing Elpis, a potent antiviral designed to completely destroy any viral infection derived from the progenitor, T, and G viruses. This turns Zeno completely normal, and you're probably asking yourself, who's the final boss then? Well, the cure doesn't work on parasites, and the nemesis is a parasite that Victor is infected with. In a rage, he brutally kills Zeno, and we fight him as Leon, who is now fully cured and back to his usual strength.
Time to bury Umbrella's last skeleton.
Spencer's vision lives through me, and I will see that it is brought to return.
And how many more will have to die for that vision?
It seems your sacrifices must be made.
Good riddance.
Nemesis. You're so damn relentless. That makes sense.
This time, you ain't getting back up.
With everything done, we're rescued just in time by Chris Redfield's Hound Wolf squad, and we get the true ending of the game.
Yes, sir. Mr. Kennedy, I have a message from Captain Redfield.
Chris sent the help. We see the last remnants of Umbrella being dismantled. Probably not for good, but at least for now. Grace is safe, Leon is cured, and Sherry will be cured soon too. And on top of that, we're told Emily may not be dead. And we actually confirm it later when we learn that Grace adopted her and is teaching her how to read. That means she's cured and has even regained her vision. We also learn that Elise's death and her investigations have finally resurfaced, giving her some well-deserved justice. Overall, the boss fight with Victor was fun, and the ending was really solid. Pretty much what you'd expect from a Resident Evil game, although the connections are still out there, and we get to see some unknown soldiers recovering assets from the scene after taking out the BSAA forces. So yeah, there's definitely more coming. And to finish up this platinum, there's only trophy cleanup left. And we just got a new trophy, Hope and Requiem. Complete the main story by releasing Elpis. That means doing a minimalist playthrough where I can't use the blood collector at all. On top of that, I decided to combine it with the no healing trophy, so I did it on casual difficulty. It was actually a really fun change of pace, only relying on the items we find on the environment, just like in the old games. During this minimalist run, we knocked out a whole list of leftover trophies, so here they are. And we just got our next trophy. Bang for your buck. Defeat at least 3 enemies with a single Requiem shot. And with this we just got our next trophy. Case closed. Read all the files in the main story. And we just got the next trophy. Grace and Goliath. Defeat a chunk as Grace.
All right.
I see you, little guy. And with that, we got the next trophy. You little rascal. Destroy every Mr. Raccoon memoriam. And we just got the next trophy. Credit where credit is due. Earn 200,000 credits. And we just got the next trophy. No safe is safe. Open every safe in the main story. And that's that. So we just got Minimalist. Complete the main story without Grace using the blood collector. And we just got the next trophy, finally. Never touch these stuff. Complete the main story without using herbs or med injectors. Now, the Minimalist run was actually a breeze compared to what came next. With only 10 trophies left, the 2 hardest ones in the game are beating it on insane difficulty and finishing the game in under 4 hours. And you know me, I like to make myself suffer. So I decided to combine both and go for the Insanity run in under 4 hours. Let me tell you what Insanity mode actually does to the game. First, and most obvious, enemies are tanky. And I mean way tankier. We're talking 10 plus shots just to put down a single regular zombie. Not only that, but there's a very high chance that that same exact zombie will mutate into a blister head. And on Insanity, those things are basically unstoppable. On top of that, you get way less ammo, way less healing. Item placements get switched around. Enemies are faster, and there's more of them. There's also some brand new spawns that appear where there were none before. Enemies are also way more alert, and certain mechanics like pushing carts take way longer. You get less blood for crafting, things at the supply crate are more expensive, and some escape routes that make it easier to navigate around enemies get locked, forcing you to be a lot bolder. And if that wasn't enough, you're forced to use ink ribbons to save. All of this information I know now, but back then it only took seeing a Twitter video of Leon's first fight on Insanity, where he took an absurd number of shots only for zombies to mutate into blister heads anyway. That was the moment where I said fuck it and decided to enjoy my last ride through the game and send it off with a bang. So I purchased infinite ammo and infinite durability for the hatchet. Even with that, it was still very challenging because I was also racing for the 4-hour timer, but honestly, I had so much fun. I think my experience would have been way worse if I had spent the whole time just kiting zombies and running away. So I'm really happy with my decision. Now let's see some of the trophies we earned for this run.
Warning, autoclave compromised. Pause lockdown unavailable. Warning, corrupt. Self-repair functionality offline.
Holy shit, we just got our next trophy. I'm so locked in. This has been rough. Anyway, the trophy name is Cat Guard Your Tongue. For parrying and cutting a licker's tongue up. Dang, this part was really rough. Alright, and that's it. Give me time, please. So we just got Remarkable Agent. Complete the main story on Insanity difficulty. Bro, 2 minutes. Like if I did that 2 minutes quicker, I can definitely improve that. Like I can make the time better. Way better actually. And that's it. We just earned Bloodlust. Collect 5,000 microsamples of infected blood with the blood collector. And we just got Curator. View all concept art. These are so fucking cool. I really loved seeing them that. And we just got Model Mania. View all models. What haven't I crafted? There we go. We just got Master Craftsman. Craft every possible item with Leon. And we just got it. Internal dispute. Make a zombie attack another zombie in the hospital wards. Because they count towards the time. Tell me we got it. 4 hours, 47 seconds, bruh. And with that, we're almost at the finish line. But before we end this journey, I just want to say a huge thank you for watching all the way through. And if you're new here and enjoyed this, thank you for subscribing. It really means a lot. Editing these videos takes forever, especially with work and everything going on. But I genuinely love making them. So if you're down for more journeys like this, stick around, there's plenty more coming. Let me know in the comments what game you'd like to see next, or if these videos are running too long. Any advice you have is really welcome. As for the game, coming back to Raccoon City, as bittersweet as it was, is an experience I never thought they'd actually make a reality, but here we are. And the fun I had with this game, with its replayability, and especially with getting that Ratatouille flashback to my childhood playing the older games, made this one feel really special. And it's something I won't forget anytime soon. So this has been fun, and I can't wait to tell you about the next game. See ya. Come on, come on. Yes! Fuck yeah! And we just got Speed Demon, complete the main story by releasing Elpis within 4 hours. At exactly 3 hours, 59 minutes, and 42 seconds. Holy shit. And this is a platinum. Requiem. Obtain all trophies. Yes, bro, yes. Holy fuck. That was so fucking good. This is really one of the best fucking games I've ever played. I love it. It's so good.